Hey everybody, it's Alex. I sound kind of quiet because it's really early in the morning. It's like, well, I think it's about 6 o'clock. But I wanted to share with you guys the cards that I've made, and I needed to do a video real quick because my husband's gonna take them to work. And I made some cards the other day, and I didn't make a video, so I didn't get to share them with you guys. So I wanted to be sure to share this time. So here's one card that I made. I got them all packaged up with an envelope, but this is just a piece of white cardstock, and I took sequins and tried to glue them in the shape of a Christmas tree. And in the middle there's little dots of red stickles, and then some green, red and white twine, and then I have it popped up on some craft cardstock, and I rounded the corners up there. See, that's that one. That took a while. Look at that. And they kept wanting to like slip out of place. I think I'm getting a cold. Then I made this one. You guys remember this stamp from last year at Christmas? I think it's a Recollections wooden stamp. And I did the same thing. I used some more craft cardstock. I used some paper, Christmas paper. Where is this from? It's from, My Mind's Eye collection that they had that pennied out, and I got a few of them. And then I used the Swiss cheese punch to punch some holes, and you could, when I put it down, you could see the craft, and it didn't look like that great. So I taped a white little strip of paper behind it, and then I put some stickles in there to make it shiny, and I rounded the bottom corners. And this is just a regular piece of, white cardstock. I just used the Walmart cardstock, and I stamped them out. I stamped them out on there. And when you stamp this image out, this flag, this banner will be black. So I paper pieced it. I stamped it out in some Hero Arts ink on a different sheet of paper, and I stamped it out in green, and then the letters were white, and I'm like, well, it looked okay, but so I went over it with a colored pencil, and then I used a little bit of a blender pen to blend it in so it didn't look so rough. And then the same thing with the wreath. When you stamped it out, everything was black, like the berries turned black and the outside was black. So I stamped it out again in the same Hero Arts ink, and I colored it in with colored pencil. And then the bow that was on there, when I stamped it out, it stamped out in green, and I'm like, well, that's not gonna look good. So I took a bow from another stamp set and stamped it out in some Hero Arts. Oh no, wait, that was Memento ink. And Memento ink, it's great for coloring, but doesn't give you the, most crisp line. So I went over it with a little red, like thin Sharpie over the lines. And then the paper was white, and I was going to color it in, but I was like, no, I'll do some polka dots. So I did polka dots with my Sharpie and just went over it with, it's like a Jelly Roll pen, but it's glittered. I think it's called a Stardust pen. So I went over it with that. That's how that's shiny, and the Happy Holidays is shiny. So when I colored, I covered up the little berries. I was like, oh no. So I just took my red Sharpie again and made little dots, made some berries. And then I took this white Jelly Roll pen and put some little dots on there, like it's kind of like light. I don't know how to explain it, but okay, so then I colored him in with colored pencils, and see his antlers stamped in black. The rest of them, would have been just like that, but I left the antlers alone. I did go over it with, I think it's called Black Stardust Stickles. I went over his antlers. His nose I colored in red, and I went over with stickles as well. So there's just a lot of cutting out and paper piecing, because when you stamp that stamp out, it's really black like this. So, and then I used some twine from Hobby Lobby. So this card took a minute too, cutting out those little pieces. Then I made this one. This one's so cute. She is you know what I'm gonna do, because I know she's a girl with her eyelashes. So the next image I'm gonna do her scarf like in girl colors. But anyways, that's what I was thinking last night when I was showing my husband. My husband's like, "Oh, he's a cute snowman," and I said, "That's a girl. Look at her eyelashes." And I figured if I did her in girl colors, you'd be able to tell. But anywho, I just cut some pattern paper to fit the size of the card, which is 5.5. And I just, taped it down, tied some twine around there, and that was from Target last year in their dollar spot around Christmas. They had the dollar twine. And again, I just stamped her on regular cardstock, like Walmart cardstock, and I colored her in with colored pencils, and I put some stickles on her, and I dotted some stickles back here for some snow, because it was just, kind of plain white. And then I put some down here for the snow. I glossy accented her little eyes, and I rounded all the corners. I love that corner rounder. Okay, my next card. This is one of the new stamps that I got. Penny Black stamp from Michaels. Same idea. I just cut some pattern paper to fit the size of the card, and I put it in the background. And because I just really wanted like the image to be like the biggest part. But anywho, I colored her in, and I colored in the little cute little bear, and I put stickles on her hat, and on the little berries up there. And that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna put some stickles on her stockings. I was gonna do them in red and white, but I accidentally did it out of order, and I was like, oh, forget it. I'm not coloring her all over again, so I just did them all red. So, her scarf, has the green polka dots. Here you go. Oh, I can't. I'm trying to color over plastic. My goodness. It's early. Anyways, her scarf is green. And when I was coloring in, I was trying to color around the white polka dots. And I kind of colored on some a little bit. So I just took my white Jelly Roll pen. And, see, that's better. And maybe on his little nose. And a twinkle in his eye. I took my white Jelly Roll pen, and I made the dots, and they stand out a lot more. See, look at that. Look at the shine. They stand out a lot more than if I would have just left it alone. So, and then I rounded the corners here. So that's that one. And then I did this one, and this is another stamp that's out at Michael's right now. It's well, not at my Michael's. They don't have it there. They had it at a different Michael's. But, it's this, I went to go color him. It's really funny. I bought it, and I'm like, oh, it's such a cute penguin, And then I went to go color it, and I'm like, wait a minute. Is this an owl or a penguin? Because I was trying to pick what colors it was supposed to be. And I suppose if you change the colors, he could be an owl for you if you wanted. But anyway, so I just colored him in with some colored pencils, and I glittered. I used different colors of stickles here. Like I used some red on the red ornament, and I used some blue on the blue ornament, and I used yellow on the yellow star. And then I used some on the snow and on his little hat. Then I did some white stitching lines here and rounded the corners, and I punched him out with that big circle punch that I got from Tampa Upcycle. So that was cool. That was a really quick way to... I love paper punches and dies and all that good stuff. Okay, so this is another little card I did. I was inspired by Jennifer McGuire. She has all these really cool like Hero Art stamps that she gets to try out from Hero Arts. And she was showing you how to do two-toned like background stamping. So I used two different color Hero Arts inks. I used it was like a regular green and then the mint julep. I forget the regular green's name. And I used the chevron stamp as a Recollections wood block stamp. And I tried it a few times. A couple of times I didn't get like the ink down all the way. And then I finally did it. And yeah, I made it work. And I had to, cut off the edges where it was like raw edges on, and then the paper was white. So it made a basically like, what size is this card? Oh, I don't even know what size it is. I just kind of winged it. It's like 3.5 inches. Well, the green paper is 3.5 inches. So I had to cut it down, and that's the size it became. And then I just stamped with a paper smooches stamp, fa la 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 la, and tied some red, green, and white twine from Hobby Lobby. And then to tie in the red, I stamped a little heart right there and glittered the heart. So that is that one. Last card I made was this one, and this one is just on some regular white cardstock from Walmart on some craft paper, and I believe the craft paper is from Joann's. And this is some Christmas paper that pennied out last year, so I just cut it with my trimmer in the shape of a triangle. And this wood grain paper, actually Brianna had just sent me. I thought it would be perfect for the little trunk. I cut it out, and I put some adhesive on the back, and I glued the trunk to the back there. Put my tree down. This is a paper smooches heart, and I stamped it out and colored it in and glittered it. And this is a paper smooches sentiment, and I stamped this little heart there, which is a lawn fawn stamp. And that is about it. I really like it. It's pretty simple, really easy, but I really like it. So that's all the cards. And oh wait, no, that's not. Oh, where is it? Here it is. I made this one last week. I should send this one too. I did this one. I was again inspired by YouTube. I don't remember who I was watching, but I love watching them do different backgrounds. And the background that they did in particular, I don't have the color like they used ice spruce. So on this one, I believed I used evergreen bough, pumice stone, and broken china or tumbled glass, whichever is the lighter color, I forget, to do this background. And then I just cut up strips of paper to make a tree. And then this is my Target dollar tinsel, and I glued it down. And this is a sequin star. And then I had cut a piece of paper to make it look like snow, and I'm like, it's still kind of plain. So I used my Snow Writer pen. And if I wouldn't have had gone on the edge of this paper that I just colored, this is a white piece of paper, and I colored it with a marker. But if I wouldn't have had gone on the edge of it with some Tim Holtz ink, my snow, like, it wouldn't have reacted with the wetness of the snow, and it wouldn't have turned it a little brown. But it did. So that's why I was like, I don't know if I want to send it, but I probably will. And then that is a paper smooches stamp. So that was my next card, or my last card. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will definitely talk to you guys soon. Bye guys.